What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and this one wants to break down what's going on with the overall market, what's going on with Tesla. So you have some big news that just came out, and some very important data that's going to be dropping very soon that could cause some high volatility over the next 30 minutes. But before I break anything down about all this information, though, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends in just about one day, it ends tomorrow, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the overall market. So looking at the market right now, we're actually selling off quite a bit as futures have been dropping. And the market's looking like it's weakening so far as yields are hitting their highest levels in 16 years. Now, with that potentially going on, this is often a very, very nice or like very indicative signal of the market potentially slowing down, of there being potential sell-offs, and us getting very close to a recessionary environment. However, but as of right now, okay, although the market is selling off, we're still technically above support. So we're going to be watching these levels very carefully and see how the market ends up reacting. Now, as a reminder, it's not just going to be this data that came out so far. But we have more data coming out soon. So we just had the housing price index report that came out, which wasn't really that great. We're still starting to see this a little bit hotter than expected. But what's going to be more impactful is going to be at about 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time or New York time. 30 minutes after the market opens, we have the consumer confidence report coming out, new home sales, and the manufacturing and services data from the Fed all dropping. This is going to be coming out once again very soon. And I believe the market's going to react to this quite a bit. So make sure you're prepared for this and get prepared for some potential change in volatility. This could change the direction the market's going, and this could cause some very, very high amounts of price action. So make sure you're prepared for this. Make sure you're ready. And that's going to cause something very interesting. When it comes to news affecting the market, there's been a lot of talk about how September is once again living up to its reputation as the market is continuing to look relatively weak so far. There's more talk about the UAW strikes, which are still going on so far. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin will have a new CEO by the end of the year. And then finally for Apple, one of their most influential executives is heading for the stand on Tuesday as he's going to be once again under testimony. And it's going to be very important for Apple as a whole. And last but not least, there's been some talks about how strike-ending deals with Hollywood studios have been going on. And this is big in a relatively positive news for AMC and other cinema companies. So now I just want to talk about this. We have some news coming out from many analysts, which are criticizing Tesla. They're saying that Tesla's margins are just too slim, especially after the news came out yesterday that Tesla ended up cutting some prices again for their latest model. So with that going on for the Model 3 and etc., Tesla's trying to kind of like clear out their inventory for the very end of this quarter. But now analysts are saying that their margins may not be the best, and simultaneously their deliveries may not be as strong as well after the weaker Chinese numbers that came out last week. So now we're seeing some analysts such as Baird coming out and they're predicting that Tesla will miss the Q3 delivery estimates. They're saying that the consensus is around like 462,000 Tesla may miss. They're saying, we also saw Guggenheim come out and they're also saying you should be selling Tesla and this and that. So these analysts are saying Tesla may miss, not look as good for the quarter. And some bad news is coming out so far for Tesla. It's part of why it's selling off as well. So be prepared, guys. Be very careful with Tesla. It's still selling off a bit, but like I said before, there's still potential for Tesla nonetheless to try to balance looking at the 4-hour. We're just going to be watching support very carefully. So on SPY right now, you're going to be watching the support right here around this 429 flat area. If that breaks, then 428.25-ish around there could be tested as we have this head and shoulders like pattern. But once we hit the supports, this is where we saw demand in the past. We could see the market try to bounce off this as we have this unfilled gap right here. So you're going to be watching to see if any kind of like divergence forms, if anything forms on the chart that's very interesting. So watch it very carefully and be prepared for some high volatility 30 minutes after the market opens. So if we break below 429, that's a bearish signal for another drop coming. If we manage to get above 430.66, we could be testing the 431 area. If we break above this, we're likely going to fill this gap back to the 432. So watch 430.66 for the bulls and then watch 429 for the bears. Whichever one breaks in either direction will determine what's the bigger move, in my opinion. For Tesla, this is actually looking a little weak so far in the 30 minutes time frame, but on the 4-hour, it's still looking primed on the 4-hour. It still has potential to bounce, in my opinion. It's just that we had some bad news today from these analysts. We had the yields going up, which caused the market to drop. We had futures dropping, all these different factors that caused Tesla to slow down a little bit. It's only down like 1%, which is not that bad so far. But overall, make sure you guys are ready because of the bad news that came out. So if you're bearish on Tesla, you want to see it break below 242.5. If that breaks, then 240 and 238 and then 235 are three supports to watch for. It's looking a little weak right now. It could drop a little bit more, so we're going to be watching that support very carefully. And then if we get above, you're going to be watching it around this 245 area. If we break this, you have 246.5 being tested. If that breaks, we're likely going to fill this gap and could get very close to 248 and then 250 above that. Those are some important levels. What do I think is more likely? Tesla looks like it could sell off a little bit more, so we're going to be watching this 242 zone very carefully if 244 breaks. And we'll see a buyer step in around here. There's a possible head and shoulders forming, which could cause it to drop just a little bit more, but we're going to be watching to see where the buyers step in, where they start launching Tesla upwards, because even though it may drop a little bit more, it could still bounce at one of these key levels. So watch Tesla's big reaction after this data drops at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, 30 minutes after open. That's going to be very telling for the share price as well. For Apple stock, this is very stationary. If you're bearish, you want to see it break below 174 flat, then it's going to test 173.5, and that's like kind of bearish. If we're bullish, you want to see it get above 175.4. If it manages to do so, 176 is on the table. And if we do end up testing that on the 4-hour time frame, you want to watch that 50 EMA at 176.5. If we break that, then we can start pushing for higher levels towards 178. As of right now, it looks very flat. I think Apple's going to remain flat for the time being. For the QQQ, this thing is continuing to sell off, looking a little weak. We're going to be watching 357 as support right now. If that fails us, 355 is going to be the next level to watch for. So it's looking a little weak as of right now, but if we get that bounce to get above 358, that's going to be in favor of the bulls to fill the gap to get very close to 360. If 358 breaks, that's going to be bullish. If we get below 357, then that's a little bit more bearish. We're in the middle right now, so watch it carefully. My gut tells me it could drop a little bit more before making an attempt to bounce. I want to see it bounce to fill this gap, but I need to see it get above 358 first to get more certainty. And as of right now, it's kind of weak, so just be careful. Let's see what happens when the big reaction comes. For Nvidia, it's kind of flat right now. It's basically at 420. If that fails us, then 417.75 is on the table, followed by 415 below that. And then if that fails us, then there's like 411, all these other levels, even this gap down here. However, when the 4-hour chart, it still looks a little bit more bullish. So it looks to me like this could just be forming like a cup and handle. Could drop a little bit more before trying to get back up to 430 plus. So I'm still leaning more bullish overall on Nvidia. I just think it could drop a little bit, and we're getting very close to market open, so I may have to cut this video short. Just as one last reminder, guys, the VIX has a triple bearish divergence right about here, so we're going to be watching that very carefully. This could still lead to more downside. Also on the 4-hour time frame, we have another bearish divergence. The market could once again be pushing up soon. The VIX could end up dropping soon, so watch all of this carefully. The market could bounce soon. Uh, as of right now, it's looking kind of weak, but I'm going to be watching to see where the bulls step in and watch the market very carefully. We have these gaps above, so they could still get filled once the data drops. So make sure you're ready and watch all your resistance levels very carefully. All right, guys, so get ready for the data, do what you have to do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm going to upload this video quickly. Hopefully it's out before market open, and I'll see you guys very soon for the intraday update video. Thank you, and peace out.